Hi, this is Jill from Gilbert's Bits of Bites, and today I'm going to show you my pattern maker action. But before we get started, I guess it's a disclaimer. This action does not automatically create a pattern for you. There are things in Photoshop that do that. You can use the filter, the offset filter, and I do know in PS there is a thing called a scripted fill. These are fine if you have something that's very simple, say you're just going to use one element and you can do that. But if you want more interaction or a more complicated pattern, or if you're like me and you're old and you learned one way and you like to use that way, um, the actions that I have created are helpers. In fact, Pattern Maker 2, there's actually, like I said, there's two sets of actions. Pattern Maker 2 just basically does all your duplicating and moving for you. In other words, does the math. Pattern Maker 1 lets you place it. I'm assuming when I do Pattern Maker 2 that I've already brought something in. Anyway, rather than trying to go on and on about this, um, let's get started. I have some instructions here basically that tell you that what you want to do is decide on a canvas size, that you're going to make a tile. And this is the process you use to create a seamless pattern. You create a tile, and I recommend that it be square and it be a denominator of 3600 pixels at 300 dpi. If you're doing it, it works no matter what, but just to keep it simple, and like I said, I don't like learning new tricks too much. um, you want to do that. So the first thing you want to do is create that tile. Okay, I just do it this way. So I'm going to make, this is 8" by 8". Let's come down here and just make it 3" by 3", which is 900 by 900, and say OK. So I have this, but what I also want to do is have something that is full size. That this is where my interaction comes in, and you're going to see why I like to do this. So there's that. And I like to have things all nice and neat into tabs. Yeah, I'm hemming and hawing here, trying to figure out where I'm going. Oh, that's funny. Why did it put it all the way down there? Okay. Oh, it won't let me move. Okay, I'm not going to argue with it. So this is my tile. And let's say I'm going to start with an element. I brought it in. Now if I do that, if I'm bringing them in myself, I want to use the Pattern Maker 2. And what I want this to do is to overlap on one edge, maybe make it a little bigger. Oh dear. So that it's a little more obvious. Okay, so hey, I've got a pattern, don't I? So down here I have this make pattern. It's the exact same thing as if you come up here and you do define pattern. I just figured, maybe you're working on the palette here and you just don't feel like going up there. So I make this. Now what I do then is go over to this full size paper here, and I insert, this pattern layer. And the thing that's kind of cool about this, by doing things this way, and of course I'm going to show you that I've been working on this, is that I can come here and I can switch it to other things. I can also come up here and say, oh, maybe I want the scale to be different, a little smaller. But in any case, it also gives me a reality check, and when I check, I see I cut something off, and that's not what I wanted to do. So I'm going to come back over here, and since this is placed, you can see there's a thing that will duplicate from the left edge. Easy thing to remember. If it overlaps the left edge, you want to go left to right. If it overlaps the right edge, you want to go right to left. As this one does is the right edge, I'm going to run the right edge to the left edge. And as you can see, it duplicated it over there. So let's go make another pattern and see how that looks. Very quick. Let's get this back up to 100. Okay, there we go. I don't have anything cut off anymore. But I have, a very, very simple little pattern here, and that's not what I was going for. I really need to fill things in. Now, I use this not only for a reality check, but actually to kind of put things in and see how they would fill in. And it's we do need a ruler. Um, so this was 3 inches by 3 inches. It doesn't have to be exact, but bring the guide in. So you can see that this particular one here, this bouquet, it's going to be kind of like in that corner. I'm getting dry mouth, sorry. Now, if I don't want to have to bring in that by myself, bring in that bouquet thing, I come up here and use Pattern Maker 1. I have to think about this. And I kind of was looking at it on the bottom edge, but I'm actually going to bring it in up to the top edge here. So the top left corner to all corners. And so this is going to open up and it's going to give me this guy right here. It's going to place him. And I'm going to put it right about there. As good as any, right? Now, I didn't have to do anything to have it duplicate. It duplicated it for me. Now, one thing, I'm using PSE 15. And if you're wondering, gee, should I upgrade or not? There's a lot that goes on. It's, financial thing. I would recommend you do it for nothing else but the fact that you can now group your layers. I just did a Command G, but you can actually come up here and make a group from the layers. This is something I use every single day in Photoshop because I work with a lot of layers. But now that I've got my group, I am moving them all at the same time. Now, this won't work if I want to scale it because it's going to make everything off. But I can reposition it if I select all 4 layers for that one there. So let's say, let's go with that. And no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make a pattern. That's not bad. Let's get rid of this guy over here. But, it's still got holes. I mean, it's not a bad pattern, but I want a little bit more. So let me show you the difference with I did show you that already, didn't I? I can't remember things. Okay, so like I said before, I can bring in something to say, that's about the right size to fill in that little hole. And I can see since I put the guidelines up there that it's going to be about in that position on my tile. So I come back to my tile, and this time I'm just going to drag it in. And I'm going to bring it to the top for now. And bring it. So yeah, that's what I want. So it's overlapping the bottom. What do? I go into pattern. I've already placed it myself. So I go over into here and go from bottom edge to top edge. There we go. Let's make another pattern. Yeah, that's not bad. Now, I probably would go ahead and, bring this leaf thing here in and put some more stuff in the background for this just to fill it in and what have you. I can play with it here. I can play with it on the tile. If it doesn't overlap, or if you put it behind something that's on top and it's not going to you're not going to see it on the next thing. You don't have to duplicate it, just put it in there. But again, you've got this tile, so you can always, you've got this full size page that has the tile that is making into a pattern that gives you your reality check as to whether or not you're cutting things off. Anyway, when you're done, what you want to do is come over here into your preset manager and go into your patterns. And you're going to want to get rid of all this other stuff you're working on. Otherwise, you're going to end up with so many patterns you won't know what's going on. But you click on the pattern and say Save Set. As you can see, I already saved one. And just tell it save. It's a .pat file. And that's it. You can use it on, again, you can play with the scaling on it. When you're done with that, you can either save it out like this, or you can go up here and you can rasterize it. Well, it says simplify. So yeah, it'll simplify it. That's with my left click. I think in Photoshop it says rasterize layer. And it gets rid of that little mask that was over there, and now it's just, now if I move it, it's not going to, it needs to be fixed. Okay, so that's it. Hope you have lots of fun with this one, and I hope it helps you make your patterns as complicated as you want to. If you do run into issues or have more questions, feel free to email me at admin@gilbert.org or info@gilbert.org. I will also be setting up a thread in the studio's forum under my name, as I've done with my other actions, and that'll be there to share, ask questions, exchange tips, what have you. So that's it for now. Thank you.